Prvi put sam se našminkala u 6. razredu osnovne škole.
So I just decided to do film about some transgender girl or guy from Croatia, from my surroundings, because I thought that this topic is very big taboo in my country. Nobody talks about it, even though it's actually everywhere, and we have this problematic government, and there is a lot of attacks on gay clubs in my city during the several years, and I was really kind of provoked, and so it was kind of my response as a filmmaker to make this kind of subject to, inspire people to think more about these things, or maybe inspire other filmmakers to also do films about these people. So I decided to explore and to interview people. After several interviews, I found Matija, who actually became perfect subject for my film, especially because she is very introvert, and she was very open to be honest and to share all this kind of very dark stuff from her life and sensitive things, and that was very important for animation.
Since I worked in theater before, I probably, because of that, immediately had like a setup on a stage, since this was a duel between them, and the chicks were spectators. I saw this as sort of a play, and also as a seduction. Music was very important for this, since I knew that this was going to be an opera. I wanted to to be inspired by the classical grand opera. I worked with a good composer. I told him what ideas I have and how I imagined this. It was a bit challenging to even set up the kind of the skeleton of the story without knowing how this would work with the music, but it step by step it worked out somehow.
Amalgamation is a documentary about this Cypriot choir, because we are based in Cyprus. So it's about this all-female, all-women's choir that they're singing traditional Mediterranean and Cypriot songs. And they are taking it a step further, and they're making it more contemporary. So they're just like creating these beautiful soundscapes using traditional sounds, but making it a little bit more modern, combining the landscape, combining our heritage and our dialect as well. It's something that through this documentary we wanted to capture.
Και η ομάδα, το δώρο της ομάδας μάλλον μέσα σε αυτό το πλαίσιο, είναι κάτι που δεν μπορείς να το ανταλλάξεις με τίποτα.
Traditional music and lyrics are deeply connected with the landscape, which was where they would take their food and their livelihood and their animals and the rivers and all that. So it's deeply connected with the traditional music, not just of Cyprus, but of all the area here of the Mediterranean.
Just listening to these voices and then experiencing them, the sisterhood that they have, this community that they are building, the way they're sharing, they're very good friends. I think by finding them first, everything kind of fell into place afterwards.
Η μουσική ποιοι είμαστε. Είναι η δημιουργία μας η απόλυτη, η πιο καθαρή, ας πούμε.
We asked them also what their ideas were, what they wanted to bring to the table, and what they wanted to say. So we like to have this. It felt almost like a collaboration with them, because they are amazing artists. They are very talented. So they had some ideas as well that we really wanted to be able to take that in and have this creative freedom between us.
Να ανθίσουν πάλι τα βουνά. People just don't know. Some of them feel, oh, that I escaped Bulgaria and I was lucky. I have rarely met anybody, Jewish or not Jewish, who knows about what happened to the Jews during the war in Bulgaria.
The Holocaust in the Balkans is a very unresearched and still not very well covered story. So it was difficult to raise funds, but ultimately I managed to finish the film and to have a chance to show it to an audience. So
we survived. We had the opportunity to start anew, and very unfortunate that all these things happened, but at least we are here to tell.
The question of their survival and how they felt as survivors sort of emerged. And once I embraced that, it became evident that this is going to be, the film is going to be about that, not about the historical events, how much they remember, but about how they felt and how did these historical events actually inform their personal history and their personal story. And so that's sort of like, once I embraced that, it became easier to, keep going.
Do you feel as a survivor?
It's not that I feel, I am. It's not a matter of feeling. I know that we are about to be deported.
I never felt that, but by definition we are.
I don't feel like a survivor because that should be a term emotionally reserved for people who stayed, who were captured and survived.
The three of them were from a sort of a middle-class Jewish families who left Bulgaria right before the war, and Misha left a little bit after. But they had a similar background, so that sort of made it easier to put the three stories together.
You were condemned to death, and in the last moment they changed that. You're a survivor.